and red on Discord. Do I sound like a robot or anything?
No, I mean it's not perfect, but it could be worse.
Hmm. Hopefully it doesn't cut out. That would suck.
Yeah. All right. Intro music one more time. And then you can't hear it, but it's okay. Okay, so are we good now? Can you actually hear me on Twitch? Like, can you like unmute it and see if you can hear us and like where everything's fine, recording properly?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. All right. Hi, hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of the Table Fighters podcast. I'm Jeff,
And I'm Mike.
and this episode of the podcast is brought to you by Five Mount Computer Repairs. Five Mount Computer Repairs is essentially a computer repair service. They are a pretty much anything electrical that you can do with it. It has to do with anything that blinks or beeps and stuff like that. Their ad read is: let's paint a picture. You come home from a long day at work, and all you want to do is sit down on your computer and enjoy a little YouTube, or maybe check out some of those pesky emails. But oh no, you go to turn that big fella on, and it turns out the last time you turned it off might be the last time you turned it off. But it doesn't have to be. Five Mount Computer Repair is here to help you with all your technology needs, from printers to scanners, laptops to desktops, internet in your house to internet in your backyard. Anything your home or business needs in the realm of things that blink or beep, Five Mountain Computer Repair has you covered. Five Mountain Computer Repair on Facebook, or contact them by email at fmcomputerrepairs@gmail.com. That's fmcomputerrepairs@gmail.com. Thank you, Five Mountain Computer Repairs, for sponsoring this episode of the Table Fighters podcast. Okay, so this is fucking bullshit about how hard this is to start this fucking episode. Like, I'm ignoring topic 1 for right now because this is fucking bullshit. We've tried 4 times. I restarted my computer once before we even got on here. Oh, my friend Chris, shut up. um, we tried 4 times. I updated my video drivers fucking twice, and OBS was still being like, nah, something's not right. But finally, we fucking got it working. I can't believe it. I'm so fucking happy. All right, so different podcast this week, because normally it's me and my friend Colton. He's not here. He had to end up working a late shift, so I have my friend Mike, who I just recently met through Xavier, one of my other friends, on Discord, who said he'd be more than willing to help me out in episodes when I didn't have anybody else to work with, which is great. It helps me out a lot. But anything you want to say anything about yourself, Mike, or?
I just met Jeff not so long ago, and I'm happy to be here and help him out. So, whatever you want to do, let's get started on this.
All right. So the one thing I want to talk about, that I gotta have the other page I had open for this from the podcast we were supposed to do last week, was that the podcast me and Colton did last week was horrible. I mean, like, you're talking, it wasn't this bad. Like, it wasn't as bad as trying to get this episode started today, but it was like stuff was just like, the quality was shit. Like for some reason my cameras would not fucking focus on either of us, and you couldn't get more than like 5 minutes into it without like it like getting blurry. It was just the weirdest thing. But after we finally got it going, we got out to essentially to the point of the podcast where we would normally do like a topic 4. We're talking like nearing like probably the 30-40 minute mark of the podcast, and we start playing Days Gone, and we're like, oh, this is gonna be cool, this is gonna be fun. And we're playing through it, and I'm like, yo, Cole, you should probably go on Twitch to open the chat log. We haven't had it open. And all of a sudden he goes, yo, we're not streaming. I'm like, what the fuck you mean we're not streaming? We've been here for a fucking hour and we're not streaming. And evidently, I guess something happened between Elgato and the Twitch service that it just did not connect, and nothing came up, and we just didn't have anywhere to go. And it was just so like, we're like, wow, all right, well, stop recording and stop streaming, because evidently this is fucking bullshit gone. So that was fucking like 3 weeks ago, and then every fucking week between now and then has just been bullshit of just stuff not working right, things not getting explained right through text, and it's been horrible. But we're here now. We're here today. Okay, so one of the things I want to talk about that's not on the new topic list is and all the reads I had before when I started all the podcast, it started out saying, "Hello everybody, welcome to the episode whatever the Tailors podcast. I'm Jeff." You go through the thing. It said, "If you're checking out, if you one of the things this thing said, it was at the, I think it was at the end. It would say like if you're watching us on iTunes or Spotify, or watch us on YouTube, check us on iTunes or Spotify. If you're listening to us on iTunes or Spotify, check us on YouTube. We're not doing that anymore, and the only reason being is because iTunes is very, and Spotify is a little bit, but iTunes is very strict with their license agreements, and like, so like some of the podcasts we had where we talk about game trailers coming out, and we talk about like movies coming out that we want to see, and I of course be putting like trailers on through the screen, and iTunes is like, no, we're so strict with our stuff that like you putting somebody else's work up there without them actually giving you like, oh yeah, you can do this, we're not having it. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna bend over and let you fuck me in the ass so you can not put my podcast up there. I'm like, I'm just not gonna do it. Like, we'll just stick to YouTube and Twitch and it'll be fine. So that was all of fucking the past like 3 weeks that we had of streaming. That was just stuff that just shouldn't have happened, that it happened and stuff like that. But all right, topic one of this episode of the podcast is talking about there's this guy I found on YouTube. His name is Brandon. I am Brandon Ferris, and he's been popping up on my Facebook feed a lot. And I never watched it before, but he kind of he does a lot of like weird fucking out of the norm videos. I'm talking like stuff that you would not, that me or you would be sitting down and be like, this would not really, make for a good video, or it's something that was like already been done a million times. But he has such a like weird personality about him that it works really well. And the two of the things videos that I laughed the hardest watching of his videos was him trying the world's spiciest chocolate bar, and him playing scary games with this one friend. And it's just it's literally like, again, it's stuff that everybody does every fucking day. It's not like nothing fucking new. It's literally the same stuff. But it just his personality and how over dramatic he is makes it interesting. Experience. And I highly recommend people go check out the World's Spicy Chocolate Bar and him playing scary games. They're fun, they're pretty funny. I mean, he has other ones. He has ones where he's eating like flavored crickets or a tarantula or like weird things like that. And it gets like it works. Like it's really entertaining because of his over dramaticness and stuff like that. You said you haven't checked them out though, right, Mike?
No, I have not checked them out yet, but it sounds interesting. I mean, I don't know about the whole spiders and roaches and stuff. I couldn't do that.
They're obviously already dead and they're in containers.
Right.
It's just like him being so nervous as he is as a person when he would go like to open the canister for the thing, for the ones I think he did a zebra spider. He opened the canister that it's in, and the baggie that it's in must have been like a harder type of plastic. And it snapped a little bit, and it scared him, so he threw it. And then he freaked out because he threw it. And then he's like climbing his like wall side of his car, trying not to sit down because he doesn't know where it went. And it was just his type of personality. It just worked really well with that, and I was kind of really happy that I actually found that video on I think I found it on Facebook. These I originally saw it at. Topic 2 is talking about I'm gonna be starting streaming games probably Saturdays. It all depends on who I can get to be on the podcast, what happens on Fridays. If I can't get anybody on a Friday for a podcast, and the podcast this isn't going to happen, I might stream on a Friday instead and do the podcast on a Saturday. This is the best way it's going to work out. Whether, again, I have Mike, Xavier, or whoever, so be it, on Discord with me playing something or something like that, or just so that I don't know what the future's going to hold, but that's what essentially that is talking about, is essentially like I'm going to start streaming on Saturdays, possibly Fridays, depending on the scenario of the week, because it's just the whole thing is all kinds of fucked up. Like the whole podcast era is just like between trying to get people to be here and then trying to get stuff working, and then like I said, fucking today with the fucking OBS is like not wanting to cooperate whatsoever. Like it's been stupid. All right, Mike, I want your opinion. 100%.
All right.
I want your full opinion on this. As you can see on the paper I gave you, it says stupid. It says topic 2: stupid battle royales. When is this fucking era gonna end?
Man, I don't know, man. It's been ongoing for so long now, and I'm hoping it ends, man. I hope it ends sometime soon. I think the only battle royale that I could actually say that I enjoyed so far is probably Apex, and that's about it. It definitely brought a more realistic take to battle royale to the table.
My cousin, who's actually in the chat right now, is yelling at me to follow him. Showed me Apex Legends. He's the first person that got me to actually play it. It's fun, it is, but it's just like, how did everybody all at once decide that they're making like battle royale games?
Yeah.
Like it's not like, well, it's like, oh, this person's making a full range, open map story of what cowboys. This person's making one about like the aftermath of like a nuclear bomb going off. It's just like 8 people in a row are like battle royale game, and you're like, all right, what's next?
And I think most of it came from just the popularity of it. It just blew up, and that's how it came to be. I remember the first like battle royale was like Arma, crazy.
Yeah, but it's not the that one. I mean, it's just like, if it was like, okay, I don't know, PUBG came out, and then like a few years later, Fortnite came out, and then
right.
And then like if a little bit later something else came out. I don't remember what came out next.
It was
but then
Blackout.
It was just Blackout.
Call of Duty came out.
And then all of a sudden it was like every other fucking month there was like a new brand, a new version of like a fucking battle royale coming out. It's just like I'm tired of the battle royale series. Just bring something else on. Bring story and emotion into your fucking games. Stop making this,
Yeah, I think that's a big thing there too. Is stories. We're missing a lot of story content with a lot of new games coming out, and I think we're just oversaturated with battle royales at this point.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I just don't want this to be the new thing. The new flooding on the market is battle royale games. Like, I mean, it already is, but I just don't want it to be like a thing that's just going to go on fucking forever. Because I'm done. Like, I'm done with battle royale games. Like, I played a little bit on my Xbox. I played a little bit here and there. Like, it's just do something different. Like, I'm excited for like I don't know if you saw Ghost Recon. What the hell?
Oh yes.
The hell's the name of it? Breakpoint.
Breakpoint. That's it.
Look. My cousin said that the battle royales are so popular because of the replayability. I'm like, yeah, I agree. That's 100%.
Yeah. That's true. That's very 100%.
True. My friend said Lieutenant O'Connor friend said the new COD should have a good story. I did happen to see the new COD that they look. It looks good, but I'm just sick and tired of these goddamn battle royales. Like,
yeah,
because it works really well for my cousin, because my cousin he would much rather sit there and play online game with a bunch of friends and stuff like that, as I personally would rather sit down, go through a 12-hour process of going through a story and unfolding different things about the story and learning different things about characters, and
going through a fully immersed story that just it takes a long time, like maybe at least 200 hours or more of gameplay to go through that storyline. Games like Divinity or along the lines of that is what I'm more into. But
yeah, but like I said, I'm not saying that online thing is a bad thing, that we shouldn't just get rid of like the multiplayer thing altogether. No, like I used to love coming home from school and playing like multiplayer Call of Duty with my cousins and my friends, and that for 8 to 10 hours every day. It was great. But it's just like everybody's just jumping on this battle royale series, and it's just getting too much. We're flooding the market with everything.
I mean, even Battlefield 5 now is starting to jump on that train
Are they
too. So
really?
yeah,
I
so.
don't know. I don't know. All right. So have you looked up anything on Days Gone yet?
From what I've seen, Days Gone is actually it's pretty unique in the sense that the AI seem to be pretty free. I noticed I've played maybe like 10 hours of gameplay on Days Gone,
You played more than
and
I
the
have.
biggest thing, yeah, the biggest thing that I took away from it was that zombies didn't seem to get hung up in certain places or rubber band around obstacles, and that was kind of cool. It just brought a more realistic feel to the game.
See, like I didn't play that much of it. Like I said, my friend brought the game over the one night, and then he had to leave early because he had work in the morning. So we weren't trying to play the game for like too long, but enough for me to get an idea of it and how it worked and all the mechanics.
Right.
Um, and the one thing that pissed me off about the game that really like I think it pissed off everybody, and that's the reason that it's getting such bad reviews on is because they when the first few trailers came out, the one major one was in the beginning. The first few minutes of gameplay that they had was the where you're chasing that guy down the road on the bike, and then you shoot him, you follow him into the woods, you find out a thing, and then he gives you a choice. Do you want to shoot him and let him die peacefully, or do you kick him over the edge and send him to the crawlers, or whatever the hell they were called? I forget the stock. I don't know, but the zombies. And I'm like, that right there is the thing that got me hooked. Is I'm like, oh cool, you can kind of flesh out your own story and see where things go, and kind of like, it's not everybody's gonna choose the same path the first time they go through, And
Right.
so my friend brought it over, he hooked it up, he played it, and I'm like, so they got rid of all the options in the game to make your own choices as far as I saw up to the point I played. And he's like, yeah, the company said that they wanted to do that because it was making the game affect the story too much. I'm like, that's the fucking point.
Yeah.
Like that was the fucking point of the options, was to mess with the story so you didn't have the same people getting the same ending all the fucking time. And I grab though, I don't know, like that immediately was an immediate turn off for me. It was like I kind of don't care about this game anymore now. What do you like? So do you feel like that's the same thing with you, or are you still okay with the game how it came out to be, or?
I mean, I would say I'm pretty okay with the game. I mean, it seems like the overall gameplay is smooth. I'll give it that. The graphics, they're okay. They're nothing too crazy. One thing that I did like was the big mobs. The big mobs and the way they moved. That was pretty cool. I've never seen a game like that. Um, and it just kind of makes you to where if while you're playing this game, you know that these zombies they don't move slow, they don't move crazy fast like you would see them in Call of Duty moving around at like level 65 or so,
Yeah.
and it kind of made you very aware of your surroundings at all times, and not only that, having to fight other people, actual humans in the game too. I haven't played many games that you know were along the same lines of as Days Gone in that sense. So it kind of brought something new to the table for me, at least.
I'm not saying that that they definitely, for lack of a better word, completely like almost redid the genre of like zombie style games where like everybody's zombie game is those slow walking, I can't get past this obstacle because this lawn chair is my way, you know to where like these things are fluidly moving over and under everything and chasing after you, like it's a constant pressure the whole way through. And
Oh,
they
absolutely.
completely did a great job with that, but they took away a fucking important feature that everybody was fucking looking forward to.
Yeah.
Like they really got rid of the most important feature, which was the choice feature of you saying, oh well, this is something I want to, I like in the beginning the guy, spoilers alert who hasn't played the game, the guy in the beginning, when you're chasing him, shoots and ends up like leaving one of your own to die, against the fountain, blood coming out of her, like there's no way that like she's going to make it. But So you're like, okay, well that's fucked up. Like he just left her to die. And then like, if you're someone like me, you're like, well, I'm gonna catch a son of a bitch, and I'm gonna make him fucking suffer for it. So you finally catch up to him, and you're like, nope, your option's gone. All you can do is kill him. And like that's kind of like, I don't know, that's just a giant like buzzkill. It's a giant like I don't know how to feel about the game now. And I kind of agree with half the people on the reviews are being like, wow, this game is not as good as it was told it was going to be. And I'm like, I kind of agree with them. But so I don't know. I can't like. My friend said, he'd let me play it whenever he gets a chance to come over. That way, I can kind of really get into it and see how it's all fleshed out in the end. But for the first hour that I played it or whatever, like I'm not fucking impressed. I am not fucking impressed. So the next game I wanted to talk about is you brought up Death Stranding.
Yes.
Let me see if I can find this on YouTube again because I gotta make sure. Death Stranding. Oh, okay, it's that one. Okay.
Yeah, it's the game by Kojima.
Yeah, which is a weird direction for him to fucking go. From like Metal Gear to like I don't know what it is. Like the game doesn't fucking
and that's why it's kind of interesting to me. Like you don't know what direction this game's going to take. One thing that I really disliked recently was the fact that it was initially going to be a PlayStation 4 and PC platform, and right now they're talking about it's just going to be a PlayStation 4 platform. So hopefully they bring it back to PC. I think it'd be one thing, it'd be.
I mean,
and the graphics seem like it's amazing, so it'd be really cool to see them take advantage of those features and stuff through a PC, graphics card versus a console.
You know why they did that though? Because it's a Sony Interactive Entertainment was a publisher,
right?
So of course they're going to try to make it to sell more consoles. I mean, we'll see how it goes at the end if they actually decide to change it.
Bring it back to PC, yeah.
I don't know because, especially with the fucking PS5 coming out whenever, I don't know when the fuck that's coming out. If that's even still a thing anymore. But that's probably the mainly reason why they did that is because they're like, oh well, if we make this like this, we could sell more PS4 consoles before we get released the PS5, and then people are gonna be like, oh well, now I need the PS5 because it doesn't run any of the PS4 games anymore. I think they're just trying to find a way to fucking make a shit ton of money.
And it's not no doubt, yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can find something about this that I can read that I could be like. It says Death Stranding is an upcoming action game developed by Kojima Productions and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment for PlayStation 4. It is the first game from the director Hideo Kojima and his reformed development studio after their disbandment from Konami in 2015. So they literally left the group they were with. They disbanded Konami, I guess they completely just disbanded Konami, and then they reformed their own thing.
Yeah,
that's weird. I don't know why.
That part I don't know. I'm not sure if it was because it's something with.
I mean, the game
with Kojima or.
The game looks great. Like I would fucking show the trailer for it, but it's like 2 hours long.
Yeah. I mean, that's just like a compiled trailer of everything. But from the original trailer that came out,
in that video that you sent to me that I watched, it was like 20-30 minutes of him walking around. He didn't pick up anything. He didn't lay down anything. He didn't use an action button on anything. He literally fucking walked around and like. I think once he picked up something to put over his shoulder, and that was it. And there was like no talking, if there's any at all in it. Like,
there's
a little dialogue,
barely any,
but nothing over the edge of like, oh, you're getting an actual idea of what this game is. And it's like
Right.
that's not a lot to put out about your game that you're trying to get ready for. Like what it was announced in the E3 2016, but it has no release date, which is I guess fine. But like the fucking trailer they released has no fucking like, information about what do you do in the game. You just like from the look of the game, you walk around and you collect things. That's what it looks like. But there's like no trees. There's no like buildings. It's just flat landscape.
Yeah, yeah. It will, kind of looks like an apocalypse.
You broke up a little bit there, bud.
It looks like an apocalypse. So, I mean, I
But
think
even
that
if it,
was like Kojima's thing, is to kind of make you think of what it could be as a game.
but even if it was a post-apocalyptic type of thing, like there, there's like I said, there's no trees, there's no buildings, there was no like it was just like barren land, and I'm like, so is this game going to take on a different planet? Is this game going to take on?
I mean, it's definitely in the future, and it
And
doesn't look like there's too many humans alive at this point.
maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just hundreds and hundreds of years after the human's existence stopped, and some kind of stupid war happened or whatever that caused like the annihilation of the entire human race, and there's just a few people left. But what's this say? It says the protagonist uses a device to uncover several invisible enemies in order to sneak past them. But okay, I, I, from what the game has to offer yet, I can't say whether I'm excited for it or not. It's just there's nothing that I'm like, oh yeah, this is definitely going to be good. It's just I couldn't tell you. It's not something.
For
What?
for me, from the first trailer that I saw back in 2016, I mean, I pretty much stuck to me. And I mean, I didn't know what it meant or anything. And I think that's like
Hold on, buddy.
that was Kuchi.
You're sketching out of there again.
I'm good now.
No, I think it's just the internet, bro.
It's Discord. It's Discord back
Discord
up.
always fucking sucks.
Yeah,
Well,
it does.
what if I can I like? What if you turn off your screen share? Will that help?
See if it does. Screen share's off.
No, it still didn't. You're still like really breaking up.
Mhm.
Hold on. How about now? How are you now? Oh. Oh, did we lose him? Ruh-roh. Uh-oh, I think we lost him. That's funny. There we go. Okay. Hello? Hello? Oh, if hello? Uh-oh, bud, I can't hear you now. Man, this day does not want us to fucking just does not want us to stream. That's so weird. This is being oh, he's typing something. Can't hear you, bro. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I can't hear you. Oh, wait.
There you are.
Ah, there you are. All right.
Yeah, Discord's having an issue right now. I'm not sure what
Discord's
it is.
always having a fucking issue.
Especially on the phone calls. I'm not sure why, but
I don't know. There has to be a better way to do this, but not today. Today's this one.
trial.
Trial by fucking
Trial and error.
trial by fucking knife wound in the face. All right, so we talked about Death Stranding. I don't know. I can't get excited for it until they release more information on it. If they give me anything to go off of, I mean, if they say, hey, this is going to be based off this type of game. It's going to be in this environment. You're going to be the point of the game is to do this. I'll be like, oh, okay, I can see where they're going with this. But as of right now, it's just here's you walking around for 38 minutes, like literally walking around for 30 minutes with nothing, no trees, no people. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Don't.
I think it's for me. It's like the graphics was enough to get me.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Going.
It looks beautiful, but looking
yeah.
beautiful isn't going to change anything if the gameplay's shit.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, but it's got babies in there, you know. I really don't know. I think they're respawns. I think the baby is your life force.
Oh, well, yeah. So for anybody who hasn't actually like watched the video, the intro of the video is like looks like you're going through a red tunnel, like a red fleshy tunnel, and all of a sudden you see a baby's face, and like reaching out to you, and then like it's the fucking weirdest intro to any kind of trailer gameplay video.
Highly recommend watching it for sure.
Definitely recommend you watch it because it's I just can't explain it. That's just fucked up and weird. And I do kind of, if that is the fucking respawn thing, that's gonna be getting really old to sit through every time you do die. That you have to sit through and watch the whole fucking birthing scene.
Yeah, and I thought about that too, but I mean, it brings something different. We've never seen anything like that before, and I think that's kind of cool in a sense.
I think there's a reason people haven't done that before. I think there's a reason someone has said, you know what, your respawn is literally going to be your birth. I think that's a reason why they haven't fucking done that. There's certain lines you don't cross, and I think he crossed one of them. So, have you played any Red Dead?
I have, yes.
How far have you gotten it? Spoilers.
I've probably sunk in probably about 40 to 50 hours in that game.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Long time. So, have you completed the main story?
No, I have not. There's a lot of side quests.
What part have you gotten to the main story?
Let's see. Man, I don't even remember. I have actually 2. I was doing 2 because I got kind of sidetracked on one of them. So I lost track of what I was doing in one. So I usually start over.
Spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen the game or anything like that. But I got to the point where you get back from that island, and after everybody die, after a lot of those people die, and that you meet up with all your people again, and the Dutch is losing his fucking mind, and nothing is helping, and then your guy all of a sudden gets fucking tuberculosis. It's just it's a crazy fucking whirlwind of a story. Like, you're going back and forth, and all of a sudden, like, you're fighting this guy, then all of a sudden your character's dying somehow.
Well, it's actually from talking to one of the people.
Is it really?
Yes, it was. There is a part where you actually talk to somebody, and he's actually coughing in the game. He has it, and you actually get it from him.
I don't remember.
Yep.
No shit. So, have you helped a lot of people along the roads when you're riding from town to town?
I've come into a couple instances.
Have you ever had to take somebody to the doctor?
No.
Okay, so this is something I was not expecting, and I'm actually kind of glad they added this in. So the one day I was riding through, I don't know what town it was. I think I was going towards New Hanover. No, I was leaving New Hanover. I was going towards. I'm gonna get these names wrong. I haven't played the game in like 3 or 4 weeks.
It's been longer than that for me.
It's been longer than that for me. I don't know. I was right towards one of the towns, and as soon as I got out of New Hampshire, my mind is like shutting off today. As soon as I got out of town, I saw this guy who was like, help! I need help. Something happened to my arm. Something happened, and he needed help. I'm like, all right, well, fuck. I want to do something else, but yeah, I guess I'll be a good person and help you. So you have to essentially get him, put him on your horse. You have to ride him into town, take him to the doctor. And when you get to the doctor, the doctor's like, yeah, we have to amputate. And at that option, the doctor says, I think you should leave. And at that point, normally anybody's like, I'm gonna leave because normally when you don't obey somebody in that type of situation, especially when it comes to like weird private stuff like that, the whole like town turns on you and you die.
Oh yeah.
But like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna sit around and see what happens. You can actually watch the guy amputate his arm. The guy literally gives him the drugs. He passes out. The guy gets a hacksaw and just starts ripping at his arm, and you can just see and hear every cut through the bone, through the flesh. And he takes the arm out and just drops it in a bucket below him, bandages the guy's arm up, and then he's like, "You're a nice man, you're a nice friend for staying for that." I'm like, "Oh, all right, that just happened." Just watch the guy like lose his arm.
Oh, was that a cutscene or was it an actual
No,
like?
it was an actual in-game thing. Like you could literally just sit there and stand there. You could leave if you wanted to, but you could just sit there
Wow.
and watch this guy get his arm amputated.
Huh.
It was interesting. Like it's weird, but that's such a minute thing to the story that like it adds a
Yeah.
lot of depth to the game. That you can sit there and just like watch random shit like that happen.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely brings a more of an immersed story and feeling to the game, putting you right there in there. But one of the coolest things I've done was can't remember where it's at, but it was like a brother and a sister in a cabin, and apparently they're incest. But there's like a little point where you go in there, and pretty much what happens is I guess you wake up. They like drug you from like food or something. Excuse me. And you wake up and they're pretty much trying to eat you.
What?
Yeah, it's hidden in the woods. I can't remember where it was, but that was and something like that. It really brought me back to the whole Grand Theft Auto 5 and how you could be walking in the desert, coming across like a little Volkswagen bus, and then the next thing you know is like Trevor Phillips just bare naked, and he's like running away.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool stuff like that. I think the game is phenomenal. I think they did a really good job with it.
They did a great job with that game, and surprisingly, a lot of the people I know go, "I don't like it," and I'm like, "Why?" And they go, it's just not something for me." And like, I understand that not everybody wants to play the same game, and
Yeah.
that brings you again back to like the battle royale game where I'm not a fan of it, but some people are.
Oh yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but it's just like they, I can't see how it's a bad game. Like some people say,
No,
oh, the game's stupid.
I mean, and they brought so many cool things into this game. Like one thing that I've noticed was the like stealth. If you kill somebody and it's not witnessed, then you don't have any like warrant levels or anything like that, like you would in the previous games of the Grand Theft Auto 5 or Rockstar, generation and
Okay,
stuff.
so on that subject, really quick, of like, why is it like you could go up, sneak up behind somebody and like murder somebody, no problem, and then like walk away like nothing happened. But like you're out in the middle of the desert, there's nobody around you for 10 miles. Like you can't see a single person. You end up, I'm gonna kill this person because I want this thing he has, and you kill them. And there's that one person at the end of your fucking radar map that's like, I saw that. I'm telling the cops, and you're like, well, how like. Why would you announce that you're gonna go to the cops on me? Like this is gonna get you killed. Like,
Yeah, and then you just get on your horse and chase them down.
So I don't know. I think they did really good with the. They did. I think they did really really good with the game. As far as things I think they could change on it, I don't know. Like,
I don't really think there's much. I mean,
was the horses and dogs shitting a necessity?
For me, yes. Yes.
Like
it made me feel like I was there,
It made me feel. It gave me a good chuckle. I'm like, okay, that's funny. But after like the 8th time of like riding into seeing shit fall out of your horse's ass, I'm like, all right, that's getting kind of old. Um, I think they did a really good job with a lot of the characters too in the game, where they gave a diverse enough group of people throughout the entire map, where it's not just like, oh, it's a western town. Oh, it's a western town. Oh, no, it's like, yeah, you go to the main part of the game. Yeah, you're in a western style town, but then you go a little bit north, and there's fucking cannibals.
Yeah. Yep.
go too far north and it's fucking freezing, and you gotta have clothes on your horse. And then so everybody was like complaining because like, well, not everybody, like some of the people who do like reviews on games were talking about like it's hard to get one of the like a wild horse to be like to be yours.
Right, right.
So like,
I think part of it is people hate like that. There's a little bit more of a simulator feel
yeah, it's not
versus
just
how arcadey it was in the previous games. Like even one thing that I noticed is like teleportation of your horses. There's no such thing. They're going to come from where you last left them, and it's going to take some time depending on how far you left them. You know, versus where the previous games you would automatically teleport your car wherever you needed it. You know?
yeah, I guess. Um, but it's just like people were like, I remember watching the one guy. I was watching a video on like the most like all the legendary horses are at, like where it can, and it was like, oh, it may take you a few tries to get the horse. I did it in one try. Like there was no.
No, it's not as hard as what everyone says sometimes.
I got that
you know?
the white Arabian horse, whatever it was, like the fastest like horse of the game. And I'm like, there was no issue. It took me like the hardest part was finding it in the white snow, and then after that, it was like as soon as I was able to like almost walk up to it, hop on, and just ride away on it.
Yeah.
And people are like, "This is going to take a few tries. You're going to have a lot of struggle with it." I'm like, not really.
Yeah. What did you think about the music?
I think that they did. I think it was really good. It kind of reminded me a lot of the Clint Eastwood movies.
Yeah.
Where it's very twangy guitar. The only song that I didn't think that it fit really well, but not for the genre of game, was the song name. I have it written down right here so I could point it out. Oh, my phone. Unshaken by D'Angelo. Was that one?
Listen to it.
It's that song that comes on when you get off the boat from coming back to the area, and your guys are kind of like passing out from. I think it's. I don't remember now.
I'd have to listen to it. Yeah.
But the song, it was a great song, but it was just so out of like the fucking blue
Era.
of era of music that like, I don't know, it didn't seem like it fit in really well. It kind of took you out of the thing. In a sense, it made it feel more like the music came out of like a modern movie, not
something
a Western movie. Or
yeah,
game.
like the 1800s. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just out of nowhere, and I don't know. It felt great in the game. It just kind of took me out of it for a second. I'm like, oh, like this is a good song, but why is it here? Like it should be something a little more sad, of like a Western style music.
Yeah. Another thing that I liked was the weather. The weather, I think, was probably the best out of any other game that I've. I mean,
go ahead.
Well, even like when you're running around in the mud, you would see it splatter even on a horse and everything, dust, all that stuff. I think they really did a good job with the weather and just the move play in general when it came to that.
Well, so honestly, I don't know. I don't honestly know what you're talking about. When I put hours into that game, and the weather has changed on me like once.
Really?
Yeah, I got obviously it changed to the point where it has to in the story to make sense. Like obviously when you leave the mountains and you get off the snow, it turns to summer. It turns like the
right.
weather. When you come back from getting almost killed by the O'Driscoll brothers, that you it's like rainy and pouring. It's supposed to be like atmospherically that way, but like throughout the game, I haven't had much weather. It's been sunny the whole time.
Really? Most of my time, playing the game has been the side quests, the side missions and stuff that you
maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm going too far. Maybe I'm not exploring enough, and it's just going too far. A bunch story for it to actually the weather to do anything different than what it's supposed to.
Yeah,
Because I
it
guess
could be that.
because I guess for the main quest part of the game, this weather was predicted to be a certain way so that it would coincide with the story. Maybe that's what the problem I have is. I don't know though. I haven't listen. I've done a few side quests here and there, but I'm mostly like, oh, let me get into that story mode because I want to hear what the main story has to do with, and I don't want to stop playing the main story. I want the story to keep going,
Right.
but I don't. I don't see. I don't. I haven't seen any weather change. I can't remember a time I've seen the weather change. I don't think. I don't think I've ever seen
I
the
think
weather change.
for the majority of the time while I was playing, it was usually always raining for me.
See, that's weird. Why? Like it's cool because I mean, this is different. You had a different play experience that I have,
Yeah.
but it's just like why? Like that's weird that like I said maybe it rained maybe once or twice the whole gameplay I was playing like randomly, but like most of the time it was just sunny.
Wow. Yeah, definitely a different gameplay than I did.
Um, do you have any thoughts about if they do a Red Dead Redemption 3? If they should do anything to it?
Um, I mean, I don't know where they would go from this. You know, Red Dead Redemption 3 would be cool. It's just where do you go from
Yeah, because like this is technically
ending?
the prequel to everything.
Yeah. I mean, I could see Rockstar probably doing games along the lines of different eras, which would be pretty cool. Um,
Well,
like for instance, I was reading a post on what somebody said, and it'd be really cool if they did something along the lines of this. And they said, what if they brought a character from, let's say, the Vietnam era? You start out, you're in the war, and then you go to a town. You're coming back from the war, and everyone hates the
Mafia
soldiers from
3.
Vietnam. So something along the lines of that would be kind of cool, and
I
living through a
think
story like that.
I literally think that's the story of Mafia 3.
Is it really?
I think. Hold on, I believe so. I gotta find Wikipedia because it's what pro people use. They don't use dictionaries and shit.
Yeah. We
So,
don't.
uh, it says here. I wish it would give me a fucking date. After deciding on recreating New Orleans in 1968, for the core for Mafia
1968 is
3 is
pretty
set in the
close to
year 1968 and revolves around Lincoln Clay, a mixed race African American orphan raised in New Bronx. After serving in the Vietnam War in the 5th Special Forces Group, he was the
that. Okay.
223rd Infantry Regiment. So yeah, it's literally that right there is like that's Mafia 3.
Yeah,
Only,
and that's
only
probably where that person probably got that idea too. I mean, but you could do it with any era, even after like World War II or just during the Renaissance period or something like that. I mean, you could really do anything at this point with how Rockstar set up this game. It just opens up so much to the table. I think they did a really good job.
no, I actually don't have too much criticism against the game. Like, there's a few things that's just like, why is this like this, or why does this happen? Like,
Right.
but I don't have any like, oh, like they should really change things next time. No, like I don't think they should change much. I think they should keep going with the wild and crazy how they have been. It's been working out really well. Like the only thing I haven't tried really was the online. I played it for a little bit here and there, but
Yeah.
it's just like it's the same way as Grand Theft Auto is. You hop online and you're good for like 3 seconds, and somebody snipes you in the face, and you're like, oh, it's over.
Yeah. But I think Red Dead Redemption 2 was probably one of the best sellers of 2018. I want to say it was
I
because I
mean,
know Battlefield 5 came out about probably around the same time, and I know they flopped really hard. They were pretty much on sale for like $30 at the very beginning. So
every time I hit a button, like a number on my pad, my fucking like
your
screen
camera goes
changes.
black.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
no, like literally, like, it changes like the framing of where my thing is, so like people can see what I'm doing. This is gonna actually give me actual maps.
Spider-Man was a good game.
The best-selling games of 2018, number one is the Red Dead Redemption 2. Then it's Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Then the NBA. Why is the NBA a top-selling game?
For those probably like
I know.
sports, you know.
Super Smash Bros. Madden NFL, Marvel Spider-Man, Far Cry 5. Far Cry 5 was shit.
I think my favorite Far Cry was the one where you're Neanderthals. What was that?
Oh yeah, Primal.
Primal. I think that was probably by far my favorite.
So I asked one of the few podcasts ago. I talked to my Colton about this, but I wanted to get your thought on it. Did you play Monster Hunter World yet?
I only played the beta.
Okay, so I am not. Elitist says Far Cry 3.
Yeah, 3 was pretty good. I liked 3.
Um, what's the name? Monster Hunter World. Like, I am not one of those people that normally gets mad playing a video game. I'm really not. Like, yeah,
No?
you get pissed off a little bit playing like Call of Duty when like you're as bad as I am as a player, and like every like 5 seconds like you're like dying. You get nowhere. You don't get any kills. I play it because I get to play with my friends. That's really the only reason I ever played it, was because I get to hang out with my cousins and my friends and talk to them. So it was nice.
Right.
But so back, God, when the Xbox One came out, a little bit after that, I bought the Halo Edition controller because Halo is like my favorite, like one of my favorite game series. I bought the controller. That was my favorite controller. I always kept it in pristine condition. I never, I never ate food and used that controller because I'm like, I feel like he was fine. And the one day, this is way before my son was born. I was sitting in the living room and I'm playing the game, and I'm like, oh, this is fun. It's hard though, because like as you play, as you get the harder monsters, they run away more and they reheal faster, and it's like, oh shit, all right, well fuck. And then all of a sudden, like, you're chasing this thing around. The one time I chased this T-Rex around for like hours. Like, you get 2 hours to try to kill a monster. If you don't complete it within 2 hours, you fail a mission. You have to restart. I had to restart the mission 3 times. I was fighting this one monster for 6 hours. Couldn't kill it. I was trying my best. It was either dying or restarting because I ran out of fucking time. It was ridiculous. And I don't know what happened. I got so pissed. I was like, I got the monster down to like one more. I hit it one time. I'm talking like if I would like kicked it and its like toenail, it would have fell over dead. And a dragon swooped out of the sky, picked it up, slammed it down on me, and I died. And I had to restart the thing. I just fucking chucked the controller and shattered the controller. And like, my wife was sitting in the room, was like, "Why'd you throw your controller?" I'm like, I don't know. It just happened. Like, it's
Yeah.
I've never been that mad at a game before.
That's kind of my experience with like the Dark Souls, especially the first one.
Well,
I mean that's pretty much how it goes for me.
I'm checking out my Elitist said, how about Dauntless? I'm trying to see if I can find something.
Dauntless is, I want to say it's just kind of like Monster World, but more Dark Souls. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
Oh, I don't want. What is this? Yeah, it's more like cartoony. It's more of like a. Almost reminds me like the characters remind me of like WoW a little bit. Like the way the characters and enemies look. Kind of.
I heard it was hard though.
Looks like it's gonna be hard. Dauntless, seeing by packs before joining the hunt. Battlefield is on the edge of the world. So it's multiplayer though. It's like, I guess, is it always multiplayer? I'm not getting a lot of information on this website. Thanks for the pictures. Don't give me. I need information. Whatever. Go back to fucking Google. Google will help. Google always helps.
Oh yeah. I like the drawing of it. It looks nice.
Yeah, it looks great. Oh, this is weird. It's a fresh take on the action RPG genre developed by the industry veterans from Riot Games. Riot Games? I haven't heard of them in a long time. BioWare and other acclaimed studios after Floating Island. So yeah, it's literally like a different version of Monster Hunter. It's just
Yeah.
hone your skills and overcome ferocious behemoths alone or with a group of up to 4 slayers in gripping and fast-paced battles for survival. Go away, AVG. I don't care. I know. Fuck off. Each behemoth is unique and presented with its own set of challenges. It, yeah. So it's like it looks like a more like slimmed down version of Monster Hunter. Because even some of the monsters look the same. To extent, I mean, there are obviously are a few different species, but like there's this one like looks like a Tyrannosaurus Rex that looks exactly like the one in Monster Hunter that has all kinds of like stones that hanging off him and shield
Like,
type of
yeah,
shit.
like the one that was in the beta.
Yeah, the one the giant one that came out at the beginning and like made you like shit your pants because you're like, well, I'm dead. Um, I'm trying to see if there's anything else we can talk.
I think this would be a game you could probably talk to Ryan a little bit about because he actually plays this.
Does he
Uh,
really?
yeah, he's been
I'll have to
playing
ask
this
him
one
about it.
recently.
I haven't. I haven't even seen it until they have Elias posted it in the comments. Where am I at? I'm lost now. I have too many tabs open. What's this thing? So me and Colton wanted to talk about life after high school, and talk about like life after high school, close friends, and people who were friends with at one point, and just like what happens after high school and going to college that people just stop giving a shit about other people, and like you go from having like 18 friends to like one.
Yeah, yeah, I would say that's pretty accurate. I know, like after I left high school, um, enrolled in college and everything, started on that track. That all the people I knew from high school, yeah, it went from like a good number of 30 down to the closest ones that I can count on my hands.
Well, yeah, it's
And
like I have a fistful of people that I actually talk to that I still play games with here and there depending on what the day is. I mean, obviously I get you grow up and like life sucks. You have to work for a living, and
right,
I understand all that. It's just like literally like nobody I talked to. I think there's like nobody from high school that I talk to anymore. Like I obviously there's my friend Chris, my friend Tyler, a bunch of them.
yeah,
Like, but like from high school, like friends that I had that I talked to all the time, friends I had to that I talked to more than the majority of just like I hung out with you more than I actually talked to you over the internet type of thing. They went from like 5 or 6 people to like 2. Like I, I said, there are a few exceptions. Like one of the guys that's in chat here, his name's Chris. Obviously, my cousin I talked to. Um, I talked to like my friend Xavier, my friend Kyle, but like there's like just it's either everybody like for lack of a better word and lack of sounding like a complete another like asshole and like everybody's either fucking dying or they just like completely like just don't talk to anybody anymore and they don't care anymore and they just like stop existing.
yeah. No, you're right on that. I mean, definitely the dying part for sure.
Like
I mean, I knew probably out of a good 30, 34 people that I knew, I mean, at least 7 of them died, within from my graduation from high school um, up to now, and that's a big number, 7 people, and but they weren't the closest. I guess in a way you can kind of tell who's really your close friends, depending on like who sticks around, who calls you up every once in a while. Um, that's kind of how I look at it. Even though we're all busy, we'll come back to each other. Even
yeah,
within
and
6 months, and it'll be you could just pick it up like nothing ever happened.
so talking about like people who like you were close to and stuff like that. Like there's a few people that we had in school that either ended up doing something and falling into the wrong crowd or ended up like one of the kids I used to know like ended up like offing himself. Um,
Yeah,
and I wasn't ever really friends with him. He ended up he picked on me a lot in high school. I talked to him like constantly. Like I wouldn't even have to say anything to him. I would literally be sitting there in like study hall, and he would just like start shit. And after something happened, I'm not going to go into full details. Something happened, and he ended up offing himself. And everyone's like, "Oh, it's so sad," and I'm like, "Not really. Like, it doesn't bother me at all that he does not exist anymore because the only memories I have of him is of him like literally trying to pick fights with me almost every day."
Yeah, bad memories.
But they're like, "Oh, how can you be so like heartless?" I'm like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel horrible for the families. I feel horrible. Like suicide is something that I think is should be taken a lot more heavier than it is. Um, I think people should speak up more, and it shouldn't be just a oh well, I'm alone. It's like you're not. There's a bunch of programs out there. Talk to your friends. Hell, talk to your parents. Like anything. Like the end result shouldn't be you having to commit suicide and take that
Yeah,
type of action. Like there are people, there are things you could do. It's not, you're not alone. But at the same time, I'm like, if like if uh what one of my friends that I talked to a lot in high school, I'm not gonna give any names. I don't really know what the full extent of how he passed away was. I don't think it was suicide. I think it was an overdose. That was horrible. It was horrible. It was sad. Like I'm sad that he's not here anymore. But there was that one kid. I said that one kid who just like couldn't catch a fucking break from him. Like he would have those days where he would just like bully you and he would push down on you, and then he
yeah,
would have like days where he'd be like, "Hey man, what's up?" And you're like, "The fuck are you trying to talk nice to me? Like 10 minutes ago you were trying to like pick on me and like shove me against the fucking wall." Like,
yeah.
and then people are like, "Oh, like you're not sad? Like I feel bad for the families, but like I could care less." And I feel like I'm like,
Right.
am I a bad person for saying that? Am I like the shittiest fucking person? Am I Hitler right now?
No, no, no. I don't think so. I mean, I think the saddest part's just not not having the ability to actually like socialize and talk to people about their problems. And I think that's one of the biggest issues with society today is no one wants to actually say what's on their mind. Everyone's
Nobody,
kind of behind closed doors these
yeah,
days, and
nobody wants to show weakness.
yep, and that's you can't live like that. The wisest people always show weakness and you know what's going on with them.
No, one of my really 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 close friends did that the one day where he said, "Hey man," it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and he's like, "Hey man, are you up? Like, can you talk?" And I just happened to get up to go to the bathroom or something in the middle of the night, and I saw my phone, and I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" And I talked to him like 3 hours. He was talking about how he was like he's really upset and that like life's not like happening like he wanted it to, and he's like, he's like, I've been thinking about offing myself and just getting it over with. And it's just like, dude, it's all right. You don't like, no, you shouldn't do that. Like everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
and
pretty
and
tough.
he
Like,
he he definitely spoke up though and talked about it though.
yeah,
You know,
and
and that probably helped him a good bit.
yeah, I helped talk him down. I'm like, well, listen, like you can't go by what's happening now. We have to go by what could happen in the future. You can't base everything that's going on right now because you're just not liking the way everything turned out. Like you got to
Right.
look forward and be like, okay, well, if I change this aspect of it, like it could get better. Like I told him, I think he said like something was going on between his job, his money, financial situations, life, like
Yeah.
relationships. And I'm like, if you have to, I said, hit the reset button. Just like quit your job, leave your girl, uh, stop doing this. I said, please, and just start over and just like find a
Yeah.
different job. Like obviously that job is not working out for you.
Nah.
You know, like,
It's
yeah, you
creating
might,
stress and
yeah,
problems that
and like
it's
just like
just not needed.
change. Like I don't know, we suicide shouldn't be the final and end all situation. It should be just be like talk to
Yeah.
somebody,
Yeah.
talk to somebody
Absolutely. Like
first. Like
like while I was in college, and we had a guy in college, and you can always kind of tell the person that's kind of doomed in life because they don't want to socialize or talk or anything. And this guy would always sit in the corner of the class, in the very back left corner of the class. And our class was comprised of 24 people. It was the program. It was an aviation maintenance program to get an airframe power plant license. And we would see those 24 people for 2.5 years. That's how it was set up, and it was 8 hours a day, 4 days a week, with a 1 hour lunch, and you were pretty much sitting there or working on aircraft outside and learning and stuff with the professors and stuff. But we came across math. No, it was electricity. Electricity is like one of the hardest things to learn if it's new to you. It's so alien because you've got to learn so much about it. But he was having so many issues, and it was more than just the class. It was pretty much like life in general for him, and we didn't know anything about it. But it was probably, and each course is really short. You're getting all this stuff crammed, all this information crammed at you within like maybe 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. That's a lot for electrical. And this guy was in the back of a class, and he wouldn't talk to anybody. He wouldn't ask for help or anything, and he was failing within the first 2 days. And what was the saddest part was on the third day he picked up his toolbox and he left class, and he said he's not coming back, he's done with the program. And then about, I think, a week later, we heard from professors that he actually ended up taking his own life, from not only just failing class, but life problems. And all it took was for him to open up and talk. That's all it took.
Yeah.
It sucks because he was a really good person. He was stupid smart. I mean, he excelled at everything else, and it sucks that there's people in life that they have such great talent, and then it just goes to waste.
Yeah, this podcast took a really fucking dark turn.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk about video games. Like, yeah, don't kill yourself. We don't. But
yeah.
It's just really a fucking dark turn. Is there anything you're planning on doing now? Let's get like a little bit on like the lighter side. Let's go back to Happy. Have you any movies you're going to see? Any games you're waiting at to come out?
Hold on, what's that? You're cutting out. I think Discord's having a little issue right now.
Is it having a little issue again?
Yeah, you're back now.
Okay. I said, how about you? Any games you can't wait to come out? Any movies you're looking forward to watching?
One game in particular,
Hold on.
I'm 50-50 on it, and it's Borderlands 3. I've always liked Borderlands kind of games, but the problem I see with this one is I'm hearing a lot of stuff about microtransactions with this game. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of microtransactions.
I mean, as long as they don't affect the play of the game, I don't care.
Yeah,
it's I don't know. It's like some people take it makes the game too easy. It's like, yeah, I could either spend 12 hours a day like playing this game and raising my experience, or I could just spend $300.
Yeah,
and I think that's a little too easily done now. I think that's it's a little too much. Like they're like, yeah, I understand the company wants to make more money, but like you're making the game a lot harder for everybody else who's like, I don't want to spend $200 and do this with
if it's cosmetics, I can understand that. Like, I'm alright with cosmetics, but if it's game changing, like actual weapons or anything like that, I would.
Like the piece of shit of the game, Fallout 76.
Yes.
All the stuff you can buy in that game is all cosmetic. There is nothing that you can spend money on that's going to alter the game in any way besides make you look different.
Yeah.
Like that's just the whole fucking topic right there, that fucking game.
Oh yeah, I mean that game pretty much is like, God, I don't even know where to start with that game.
So like, why would Bethesda put out the Elder Scrolls V and immediately flop like after its initial release? Think, what's a good idea? Let's make a Fallout version of this.
And reskin everything.
Like, why? Like, obviously it didn't work the first time. All your fans don't like. Someone want it. Most of them don't want it. They want a fucking game that you're gonna go and you're gonna like. It's your Bethesda game. Like, it's not. It's not. We're not playing World of Warcraft over here. I can't. Fucking just. Bethesda, stop fucking up. Go back to your fucking normal ways.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's scary in the sense that, like, I'm a huge like Elder Scrolls fan, and
Me too.
it kind of makes me worry about the Elder Scrolls series future.
So, did you watch? Speaking of like the Elder Scrolls and that, did you happen to watch the E3 from like what was that 2017 when they were talking about Fallout 76 coming out?
No, I didn't see the live one.
Fucking,
I've seen parts and stuff of it on YouTube,
it was
but it was rough.
beautiful. Like everybody was coming out talking about the games, and like of course at this point, like nobody cares. They want to hear about
Yeah,
the Fallout, and they want to hear about
yeah,
whatever's going
but
with Bethesda. And like these people are talking about like, oh, we're doing this cool game, we're doing this cool game, and, like it's just like silent. You get like hear people like once in a while like, oh yeah, like, yay, like cool.
yeah,
And then like they finally talked about like Fallout 76, and like it just got fucking quiet. Like everybody's like, it's like you're joking, right? Like,
yeah, yo,
but at the end of the E3, Bethesda came out and was like, I don't remember exactly what they said, but they said, yeah, by the way, this is happening, and they showed like literally like a small like 30-40 second clip of the Elder Scrolls 6 or whatever, or 7, what if 6? Yeah, 6. And but it wasn't even like wasn't anything of like gameplay or anything like that. It was literally like them like a camera flying over top of mountains, and the name the Elder Scrolls 6 came up, and then it stopped. And I'm like, you guys literally realized you had nothing to go off of, and that this is going to flop. So you put that in there to kind of get us excited at the end.
yeah. See, Death Stranding has a little bit more storyline in there. At least you know you get to free
Right, I get
roam.
to walk around. Awesome. That's like the one thing I look forward to in my games is to be able to fucking walk around. That's oh
Well, I mean, I would say that still was better. That E3 was a little bit better than the Blizzard and the whole mobile.
oh. Have you watched
The
that?
Diablo. Oh yeah, I watched that.
That
I
was
saw that one guy standing up.
so. I have
Are
two.
you like,
I have two comments about that. What the hell is with that guy's hair? You know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea what's wrong with his hair.
I
Yes,
I will throw it up on YouTube so people can see it. But like I don't know. Like I'm not making fun of this guy because of the way he looks. But at this point, the guy should just like shave his head and just give up. Because I can't spell. So, for lack of a better thing, I'm just gonna get to the point of it. Blah blah blah. That's a good close up. Nope, it's not.
Falling from heaven. How do we get from the shattered world stone to the falling star? And what else is going
I need
on?
a good picture.
There's a full
West March is the perfect choice for a capital city for Diablo Immortal. Before this, the only time we've seen West March is as far we've talked.
Okay, so are you watching on the stream on Twitch?
yeah.
Look at this guy's hair. It looks like a 3D render of his hair didn't load in the video game right.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Looks it looks like his hair is loading in and it's stopped. Just shave it off at that point, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to judge here because
Serious
like I said,
balding.
I am not the best looking person in the world, but come on, man. At some point, you got to realize that your hair's not growing in. But so I fucking love that where he's they're talking about the game and they're like it's all it's all online on your phones, and
Everyone's got a phone, right?
And yeah, the fucking comment, the guy's like, this is a fucking joke, right? Like this is like a late April Fool's Day joke. He's like, haha, no. Dude, it was so bad. It was so bad how like immediately went from like, yeah, this is a cool E3 announcement to like nothing, dead silence.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. I don't know why they're doing that. Like, why would you take the game that was essentially like built for and based on computer gameplay and put it on a fucking mobile device? Like, yeah, I understand you're trying to get a broader audience, But why would you limit yourself to only iOS and like Android? Like,
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know. People are making really shitty decisions with fucking
Which
video games.
which one was your favorite as far as Diablo series?
I only played 3, I believe.
Only 3.
My
Okay.
cousin showed me 3, and me and him played it, and it was great. It was fun. After that, I kind of looked a lot into the series. I didn't play a lot of games, but I kind of read a lot of stuff and watched a lot of videos about, like, you know, the hidden worlds they always have in all the games.
Yeah.
But like, I'm one of those people. I can't play MMORPGs too much because they're great for like the first time, and then I get bored. I can't follow through with it forever. Like every once in a blue
There's
moon,
no there's no replay to them.
not
no,
for me. There's not like
Yeah.
the one day my cousin was like, "Yo, you should come over and bring a computer, and we'll restart World of Warcraft, and we'll kind of start over again. We'll go from the beginning." I'm like, "That sounds great," and like it's something else to do. So we went over, and I think I put 18 straight hours into the World of Warcraft. I think this was before like Mist of Pandaria.
Yes.
This was a while ago. And like I said, 18 straight hours into the game, and then literally the next day, I was like, I do not want to play this anymore. I have like, if I could cancel my subscription and get my money back, I would. And it's just like Xavier all the time is like, hey, you should play this online game with me. And I'm like, I don't want to. Like, I can't. Excuse you. Motorcycles. I can't, man. It's too much of trying to like. You have to be constantly playing, and you have to be constantly doing this to keep up with everybody else, and it's too much dedication to this. Like,
It's
I can't
it's
just walk
definitely
away and
dedication.
come back and everybody's the same. It's like, no, if you walk away from World of Warcraft or from the Elder Scrolls Online or anything like that for like a day, everybody's like 12 levels higher than you, and I'm like, well, you're fucked now.
Gotta grind, man. Yeah.
I think that's what bothers me too, is the fucking grinding, just the constant, the same thing over and over again, repetitive.
Yeah.
Like some people, it's great. It's like Xavier. Xavier loves. He loves. All
Yeah,
kinds of-
he loves the grinding games for sure, you know.
and it's no, I'm good. I just had something I wanted to talk about, and it's lost. I lost it. It's gone. Nope. Well, not talking about that now. So one of the things I want to talk about in the podcast that I was supposed to talk about last time, but again, last time didn't happen, was I got 2 cameras now. OBS is a godsend. I can actually like. You're not gonna work. Okay. Whatever. Fine. Are we still recording on Twitch? Is Twitch still like being okay?
Yeah. Twitch is fine.
Okay. Like I don't know. OBS.
Your sneak level is crazy though.
My sneak level
Yeah. Click to your other camera
gone.
because you just disappear. Yep, there you go.
I don't know what I dude, literally last week when me and Xavier were talking, and I was kind of like, you know, quietly in the background streaming and recording it just for shits and giggles to see if I can get any good content out of it. Like, it was like no problems. It worked fine. Last Friday I did a stream of Dark Deception, which is a great game. I'd recommend anybody check it out. Where I streamed that for almost an hour, no problems. It was great. Today, all of a sudden, everything's like, no, wrong. It doesn't want to work today. All right, I think we're getting towards the end of the podcast here. We have been doing this for an hour and 18 minutes now. An hour and 19 minutes. I'm wrong. Been going for a while. Jeez. I thought we weren't going to make it. I thought we were going to finish up with like, you know, a half hour short. No, you're
Nah.
Well, I guess we'll cut it here for today. Tomorrow I'm going to be streaming again around 9 o'clock. I'm going to be I'm playing the second chapter of Dark Deception. If you're ever back on and you ever want to hop back on one of these, Mike, I mean, you're more than glad to. It was fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I just want to say if anybody has any topics they want us to talk about, or us to argue about back and forth, let us know and we'll try adding it in. If anybody has any kind of games, even they want to talk about, like anything, if anybody has anything that somebody wants us to discuss over, like leave it in the comments of the video, or even go on the YouTube channel, leave it in the comments there because they'll stick around longer. We'll definitely try to add it in, or even something we can do to make a funny video or something. But I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week for another table fight.